What's up, everybody? How's it going? Billy Rogers, you are first. Do you know what this means? It means you're first. Congratulations, Billy. Michael's here. Michael Zarati. How are you doing, Michael? Yo, yo, Tiki, what's up? And of course, I didn't know if you guys saw that. Are we ready? I'm ready. I hope you are ready to have a good evening. Geez, these weeks just go by so fast. It's already Tuesday again, and we are here, and we are all together, and we're gonna have some fun. Beardius Maximus, yo yo yo, what's up, Max in the house? Good to see you, brother. Todd Bailey, what's up, man? Good to see you too. So it's been one of those weeks. Before we get started, I did have a couple of updates I wanted to mention. And the first one has to do with the buy one, donate one campaign that we're starting. Pardon me. So, as you know, June 1st was yesterday, and we're supposed to kick off the program where you buy a beard oil and then we donate a beard oil to a veteran in need. So we're essentially ready to go. The only problem is that the group that was we're going to have distribute the beard oils, they're not quite set up for distribution yet. So I am working diligently with several organizations to find a replacement for that distribution, and I will keep you updated. Meanwhile, we're still collecting, like anytime from June 1st, which was yesterday, onward, anytime someone makes a purchase of a beard oil, we're still setting aside a bottle of beard oil for the veteran campaign, because just because they're not ready, it doesn't mean we're not ready. So it's just a matter of finding a distribution point. And I've got a couple of interviews out with some organizations that are basically, that is all they do. So I will keep you guys updated, but I just wanted to let you know straight from the horse's mouth what's happening. That's the reason we haven't fully put it out there yet on the site. I did put a comment on there about what's happening, at least insofar as the fact that it wasn't quite ready for prime time. But on the back end, I'm working on it, and we're also still making an extra bottle of beard oil for every beard oil that we sell. So that's what's happening. Yes, I love the background. Loving the background. Guys, we are one America. Let's not forget that. I mean, we are going through some issues right now, obviously, in our country. And, you know, at the end of the day, we just have to remember we are all Americans. We all need to take care of each other. And we support, I don't care if you're black, white, red, purple. We respect you as a person, and we expect and we hope that our customers do too. And I'm just laying it out there. This is what we're all about, is taking care of each other. So we support America, and we support the way this country was a melting pot for everybody from different countries. So that's what we're all about in this country, and that's what I support. And I hope you'll join me. And I'm sure most of you do. So that being said, Redneck says, I just got another email to schedule a job interview for Sam's Club as a cart pusher. All right, cool, man. And like Tiki mentioned, Costco. I think Redneck said there wasn't a Costco close by to him, but I mentioned that too. Can I do a background that moves? I can if the file size is not super large. I have one for my day job. It's a flag that does wave, but it's on my work computer, actually, so I don't have it here, but I will try to get something like that because it's actually pretty nice. But although it's just a pole with a flag waving, you can see the blue sky in the background. But I do like this background. It's pretty bold, and you know, we're pretty bold too. So we want to make sure that, you know, I figured, you know what, I'm going to come on here with a big old American flag. Billy says, issues, destruction, is stupidity. I understand protesting, but destroying property, I don't get it. Billy, I don't get it either, but I also don't get the anger that you know, some people have, and maybe because I haven't experienced it personally. But I get what you're saying, Billy. I totally agree with you. Destruction is absolutely destroying things that we're all going to have to pay for with our taxes. I understand that. I get it. Believe me, I totally get it, Billy. So let's see. Let's see. I've got To do some things from last week. Where did I put them? I've got 3 things that I made. I know we only had 2 officially, but I made a third one too. So I wanted to go over that too in a little bit. Let's see here. Background should be a Georgia peach orchard, Billy. Yes, sir. And that's funny. And I'll tell you after it's why I think it's funny. It's really pretty funny though. Yeah, touchy conversation, but yeah, man, it's driving me nuts already. I literally been stressing myself over it. It has nothing to do with me. I hear you, brother, man. I totally hear what you're saying. Um, it's one of those things that, like, I wasn't born. I wasn't born until '71, and I know that there was a lot of rioting back in the '60s. I used to love talking to my mom when I was like in my when I was a teenager. We used to talk about a lot of things, and I was fortunate enough. My mother was a journalist. My father was also a journalist, and they got divorced, but I still grew up reading the newspaper, so I knew kind of what was going on in the world if I could. And I didn't just reach for the comics. I tried to see what was happening. But she used to talk a lot about the '60s and the riots, the race riots. And, sometimes, when I look at the news today, I feel like in some ways we're not much closer than we were back then, although I know from experience and talking to people that I think we probably are. And, there's a lot of good positivity in the air, even though you don't see that all the time on the news. But I think that in the end, I think we're going to be okay. I just think that there's a lot of anger out there, and I don't dismiss that anger. I understand that there is a lot to be angry about. I get it, but I mean, it's just to your point, you guys, about talking about looting and stuff like that. I agree. That doesn't really help the problem at all. I totally understand. So, Beta, what's going on, man? Thanks for jumping in here. Let's see. I thought today about how money is called loot. Yeah, you're right. It is, isn't it? Loot. So, Beardy says, I feels like it's just going to restart everything again. Any progress made will be lost. So, Tiki says, we need to start opening barbershops here in Michigan. Yeah, I mean, barbershops are opening in other parts of the country, including Texas. My wife just went and got a haircut last week. There's a hairdresser she goes to, and it's one of those things where they rent out a space in a shop, and so I mean, definitely to get the economy going again, it's definitely helping her. But yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of things that we can probably start opening that aren't yet open. So I know that Dallas, for example, I think they might have opened up maybe a week or 2 earlier than they should have, but I think for the most part, we're across the country, we're starting to see it curves start to go down. So I'm hopeful that that will continue, and that there aren't any major spikes going forward. But you never know. I mean, next year maybe another during the winter time there may be another spike of this too. So it's hard to tell. I know my day job, we're going like every 30 days or so, will they make an evaluation about if they want to have people go back into work or not. So we are at least here for another 30 days working from home. So let's see here. Beery says, I'm fixing to shave my head for the first time. I ordered the Headblade Moto, I think it's called. Oh, cool. You'll have to keep us updated on that. I'm curious about that. I've never actually shaved my head completely. The furthest, closest, I guess you could say, is I use the no attachment on the blade, which got it down to pretty short, like in the military. That's like that size. But there's still some hair, a little bit of hair remaining. Peach fuzz. Georgia peach fuzz, or maybe Texas peach fuzz, some kind of fuzz. So yeah, let's see. Maybe I made the Sonic. Maybe. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about some of the scents that I did make, because I wanted to get you guys to let you know, what it was. Now, somewhere, where did I put it? Oh, here we go. This is the last week's review. And that's just a short little thing. I guess it's just long enough. So The first thing I made was the Barbershop Cherry Tobacco and Chocolate Mint. And here it is right here. And these are the drops equivalent to a 1 ounce. So it would be 12 drops of Barbershop, 8 drops of cherry tobacco, and 10 drops of chocolate mint. That was the first one that I made. And so I wanted to let you guys know what this smells like. First, I will gonna open it up, and what I did was I put it on, but I didn't seal it all the way. If I were to close this, it would lock this seal in place. And I've learned my lesson for future bottles that I do put up on the site. I'm going to keep it like this until we're done with the talking about it, and then I'm going to seal it, and it's going to be locked in place till whoever purchases this will get it. So that will be on the site pretty soon. So this one, my notes, I gave this one an A. And here's what I wrote for my notes. Now, again, this is the Barbershop Cherry Tobacco and Chocolate Mint. I wrote my thoughts after making it and trying it I wrote that it was creamy, cologne style, rich, creme de menthe or cream de menthe scent. High note of cherry and middle to low note of mint cream. Strong. This is a strong scent. This is a very strong scent. Just do 1 drop here. 2 drops. So I put this on, and yeah, that smells really good. You can smell that cherry right off the bat. And then you also smell that chocolate mint. The Barbershop is kind of, it's more of a background scent. So it's not, the Barbershop portion of the scent is not super, super strong, but it's good. Yeah, Tiki says, you might not want to share the exact drop amounts, trade secrets. Yeah, we're going to see this on Company ABC's website in 6 weeks. They're going to have all our scents that we created. Imagine that. I get your point, though. You're right, though. That is pretty, one of those things that could happen. But I'm not super concerned about that. I mean, this is all for fun, guys, and this is something that you guys are helping to all come up with these ideas on. We can talk about if we think we should do that or not. I'm up for that. It's all of our scents, guys. So if you think we should keep that a secret, we can definitely do that. So anyway, that one I gave an A to. That was a really good scent. The next one was the cherry and lime tobacco, which actually, let me correct that. It is the one that is that you're talking about, but this is a cherry, lime, and tobacco. So I used cherry almond because I thought that gave the best cherry scent instead of cherry tobacco. That was an alternate we could have used, but the cherry almond is, as long as you don't put too much of that, because if you do, it ends up smelling kind of like NyQuil, to be honest with you. But cherry almond, if you just put a little bit, you're going to get that nice cherry scent. And so I used cherry, lime, which is, I used that Oracacia lime, which smells like fresh squeezed lime, and Cuban tobacco. So my notes on this one were fruity, tart, initially strong, but fades to medium strength quickly. I really like this scent. Now Barb smelled this, and she smelled Cuban tobacco primarily. But I could barely smell the Cuban tobacco and the cherry and lime primarily. So depending on who's, smelling it, let me see. I'm going to do another drop of this one or 2. And when I say this is short living or short lasting, it's the initial smell is amazing. I mean, it smells so good. That's just going to invigorate you. I think this is a nice scent. I really do. But the fact that it doesn't last as long as I was hoping it would, I gave it a B+. But not because of the scent, but only because of the fact that it doesn't last as long as I wish it would. I know there's lime in it. Lime has a tendency to kind of dissipate fairly quickly. But for that time when you can smell it, it's just really good. So that one was a B+. Let me see. Let me look at these notes before we get too far in. Yeah, so it is like a vault. It basically the way these things operate is they connect onto this, and basically once you close it hard enough, the top part of it locks into place, and then you can't. If you were to open it, you would see if you got this and it just freely spun right open, then you'd know that someone had opened it. But if you hear a little clicking sound when you open it, then that means you're the first one to open it after it's been sealed. And normally our regular beard oils that we send out are not sealed, and it's only because when I make it, it's going straight to you. Now, if we let's say we're gonna send it to a third party, like let's say I don't know, let's say we're gonna send it to someone else to do a giveaway. I would put I've got some like clear seals that you can put heat on, and it wraps a seal around it, and so that way you'll know that it's not been tampered with. But when I make them, in one way it's to kind of get things out quickly, because I know I'm making it or Barb's making it, and it's going straight to somebody's mailbox, and it's in a sealed package. So that's why we don't seal our normal bottles, just because it takes extra time to do that, and if I'm trying to get things out as quickly as possible. But that's the reason we don't do that. So but anyways, in case anyone ever was wondering, hey, how come there's never any seals on our stuff? It's because it's going directly to you. So, do I have the name of who came up with this scent? You know what? I do somewhere. Let me see. And I need to. Here's my book of notes, and I need to get better organized at this, because when I'm just writing things down, obviously it's not as efficient as I wish it could be, but I will learn to get better at that. That's for sure. I will definitely learn to get better at that. So Michael says, I don't think any outsiders would sneak into steal recipes. If anything, they will just buy one for Ferocious. Hopefully during the show. Yes. Now, I know on our Friday night show, we do that thing where if anybody buys anything during the show, we'll do a bonus giveaway. But we haven't set that up for this show yet. I don't know if we want to do that route or not, just because, I try to keep it more low-key and just focus on the scents and things like that, and just enjoying the show without feeling like I'm running around crazy figuring out who won what and this and that. But we'll still do a giveaway tonight. But I don't know if you guys think you guys want to get into doing all that too on Tuesdays. We can certainly do that. I don't mind doing that, but I just figured to let you know that's why we're not doing that at the moment. So yes, Logan, it does smell good. I really all of these smell good. Bud says he wore his own collaboration, the Witch Doctor. Super great feeling in beard. Scent-wise, I think it needs more citrus. Okay, fair point, Bud. I'll go back down and I'll review that recipe, and I'll see how we can make that better for the next time around. Let me just write that down, because Witch Doctor, more citrus. All right. Mudrucker 36. I did a custom scent I called Sweet Oud because I couldn't come up with anything better. Everything's good. All you have to do is, when you pick your scents, I say everything's good. Almost anything you can make good. There's sometimes some things that you just, no matter what you do, they just don't blend. But, as long as you are cautious when you're putting your drops of fragrance oil or essential oils into the bottle, balance it in a way that makes sense, you can pull off quite a bit. I had a scent the other day that had like 13 or 14, I think 13 different essential oils or fragrance oils in it. And at first I was like, holy moly, this is like probably the most I've put into one bottle. But you start off with just 1 or 2 drops and you just build it up. And then I look at past bottles I've made and see how many drops go into some of these bottles. And it's a good guide over time to see, okay, like for example, if Oud to Joy has a certain amount of oud in it, and this person's asking for oud with something else, how much oud did I use for Oud to Joy? And I'll kind of use that as a baseline. And it tends to work out pretty well. General Patton, yeah, I remember making that one, and I really think that one smelled amazing. So that I think you'll like that a lot. I felt like almost like it was a historical scent I was giving away there. I really, really enjoyed the smell of that, and I hope you do too, Michael. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was camel cam, but I got it in my notebooks somewhere here. But I don't know, we got to figure out too. I got to put. Here's the thing. I got to figure out how to get it onto the site pretty quickly too. You know what I mean? Because between the Friday show and I was doing a Sunday show with well, I was doing the Friday show, the Sunday show, the Tuesday show, and I just decided Sundays it's just kind of killing me. You know what I mean with timing and stuff. I just figured I'd cut back on doing the Sunday show. I had a great time, but I just figured I need to kind of take back a little bit of time to myself. Let's see, good name. I wasn't expected to name it, so I just went with what I was going with the scent. Cool. Michael says, keep it for Friday. You were so kind already, brother. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate you, man. That's definitely, yeah, we can do that for Friday. I mean, Friday, we can just go crazy. I think Friday's a good time to just let it all out and just have fun. It's good with only one giveaway. It doesn't take the ideas out of our heads. Keeps the creativity pumping. Right, exactly. That's what I was thinking, too. So, yeah, same thing. Redneck says, keep it for Friday. Gives us something to look for on Friday. And it's only 3 days away, guys. Another Friday will be here before you know it. My custom scent was called Max's Mix. Yes, it was. And Bud says keep it on Fridays too. Okay, sounds good. We have a consensus, it looks like here. I know I love General Patton. Thank you, Nate. You're welcome. I think you will too. I agree with Fridays as long as Maximus is disqualified if I'm here. Nate's giving away the knowledge and fun on Tuesdays. Yes, sir. Yes. And knowledge, I mean, any one of us can make a beard oil. It just takes some practice and it's fun to do. So if you guys ever just want to do something on a, Saturday afternoon, just grab a couple of things at your local store and just start tinkering around with it and have fun with it. So, yeah, block Max from giveaways. Yeah, we'll have to see if we can pull that off. Although I did think, let me see, if I right click on someone's name. Oh no, let's see. Oh, I can put a user in timeout, I guess, which I don't know how long they go into timeout for, but I can block a user. So when we do giveaways, yeah, we'll just put Max in a timeout while we do them. I'm just teasing Max. So, well, that brings us. Oh, so that actually no, I told you I had 3, and I did. This is the third one. Why is that not focusing? Peach, Cuban tobacco, and sandalwood bourbon. That one rocks. This one here, so it's Cuban tobacco, which is really one of the few tobaccos I have. Sandalwood bourbon, and that peach. And what I got from this was the bourbon and tobacco take the brightness out of the peach scent, which is fine because it basically converts this to more of a peach infused bourbon scent with tobacco highlights, is the notes I wrote on this one. It smells really good. This one I rated as an A. This one, I'd wear this all day. The peach is just there to remind you that it's there, but the Cuban tobacco and bourbon that go into this, it's really nice. All 3 of these will be going up on the site because they're all amazing, guys. So they'll be in the collaboration corner as soon as I get a chance to do that. So really great job, everybody, on these, and I love them. That's all I got to say about those scents. Max might pay it forward to me one good time. Yeah, you have paid forward quite a bit, man. So there isn't great variety sense at the local Whole Foods, mostly girly stuff. Yeah, I know what you mean. There are a lot of kind of girly scents there at Whole Foods, and you'll probably never get fragrance oils. You'll get maybe essential oils. At some of the stores, you'll get just the basics like the peppermints, tea trees, some sort of cedar wood of some kind is usually available. Cinnamon leaf or cinnamon, those kinds of things. But yeah, you definitely don't get nearly the variety that you would get online or at Ferocious or other companies that make beard oils with fragrance oils. So yeah, I don't think much has changed since that, Tiki. I think it's about the same. You've got 3 A's. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, you are graduating. We should have like a graduation ceremony. Oh, he stole my number 3 times last week. Oh, wow, that's funny. So, what else is happening, you guys? Before we kind of dig into some new ideas for this week, anything urgent going on? Anything earth shattering? So while I'm looking at this, I think I probably might have talked about this before, but these are the carrier oils that Ferocious uses, except for the sunflower oil, which you use for New Day instead of jojoba oil. But we use grapeseed oil, apricot oil, sweet almond oil, and jojoba oil. And I wanted to just kind of let you guys know why we use these oils, because some people have said, well, oh, grapeseed oil is cheap, it's this and that, which it is relatively inexpensive. That is true, but this is why we use grapeseed oil. It's rich in beta carotene, vitamin D, C, and E, and it contains anti-inflammatory antioxidants which help to prevent acne outbreaks, balance your skin, and restore collagen at the cellular level. That's why we use grapeseed oil, because there are some of our customers who have acne and they are looking for something that will help against that. So that is definitely what grapeseed oil is good for. And then we use apricot oil, which has vitamin A and E. It's useful for oily complexions, helps rehydrate dry skin, and soothes rough damaged skin, as well as relieve skin itch and irritation. And then the last 2 oils we use are sweet almond oil, which soften and dislodge dirt in your pores, and hair follicles, which also prevent acne and blackheads, which I don't think I've had a blackhead since I was like 15. And then finally, jojoba oil, which mimics the natural oils found in your own skin and helps moisturize the skin under your beard. So that's why we use those oils, just because they all provide some sort of unique quality and benefit that the others don't. Oh, yeah, we saw Nate. Oh, the wedding photo. Yeah, I looked a little bit different back then, huh? I was a little bit bigger, that's for sure. No beard, and but that was Hawaii. We got married in Hawaii, and before you go on to say that it sounds ridiculously expensive to get married in Hawaii, we were originally going to do a traditional wedding in Rhode Island, and once we started looking at like the cost of renting like a hall or something, plus either a band or a DJ, food, drinks, all that stuff that goes along with a wedding, it was like going to be probably 20,000 or something. It's crazy. It was ridiculous how much those things just add up. So we started looking around, and we saw that you could get married in Hawaii. It was called Pleasant Holidays Vacations. And we contacted a reverend out there who was also the photographer, and he had a friend who was a videographer. And like the whole thing, including airfare, hotel, everything was like a third of what we would have paid for a wedding, a traditional wedding. So we were like, you know what? Let's do that. And we did that. And as soon as we decided to do that, all our stress went away for that planning of the wedding, because that can be pretty stressful planning that kind of thing. But yeah, it was awesome. It was really cool. I have not been to Hawaii in years now, but I went back and forth a couple of years, just to go on vacation or whatever. But it's just such a long flight. It's hard to, since we've had kids, we have not gone back to Hawaii. But maybe for our 20th, I can try to convince Barb to get on a plane for what, 9-hour flight from Dallas to Hawaii. So Billy, you said you're pre-op in the morning. Man, I hope things are okay, brother. I remember I was at Whole Foods kind of place back in 2015. I had been hearing about beard oil and saw Badger test oil. Not knowing what I was doing, I greased the crap out of my beard. Yeah, right. I know what you mean. There was a speaking of that, it's not Whole Foods, but it's a store called Central Market. And just to tell you like how you get into your beard mode, I've got my beard oil, my beard balms and stuff like that, and you know, always working on these things. And I went into the store and I saw this woman who was demoing beard balm and beard oil. And for the briefest second, I I felt like it was my product for some reason. And I actually like I did the one thing you're never supposed to do, and I touched the inside of that tin like because I just wasn't thinking straight, and I'm like, oh yes, because I was thinking it was like not that it was one of mine, but I've been so used to dealing with them in my hands, and I just instinctively grabbed it and kind of ticked her off a bit. So I bought that sampler from her because I just felt awful after I realized what I did. Like immediately as soon as I did it, I was like, oh crap. When the three when the 3 cents I helped with, please allow for the castor oil to be added. Yes, yeah, we do. When we add castor oil to the beard oils, we do add a little bit extra of the fragrance to overcome the scent of the castor oil. So any oil that helps with anti-inflammatory is awesome, right? It is. It's good stuff. All of these are good stuff. So don't ever let anybody tell you that any of those things are junk or they're just filler. They're not filler. They really do have a purpose. Even if they're inexpensive, things do not have to be expensive to be good, guys. Just throwing that out there. So Beatrice says, I got married by the judge in the living room at my parents' house in front of my dad that had cancer. Did it so he could be there to see it happen. That is amazing. That's awesome. What an amazing experience that would have been. Yeah, good luck, Billy. Keep you in my prayers, brother, for sure, man. Just getting the knee scoped again. Okay. Oh, wait, let's see. I was in the Central Market, HEB Central Market in San Antonio. Awesome. Dude, I love Central Market, man. I mean, it is pricey, but we don't get in there that often. But, man, their meats, they've got an amazing variety of, like, anything you can imagine is in Central Market. And HEB is the major grocery store down in South Texas, like San Antonio, and there's none in the DFW area. The closest one is in a place called Burleson, which is the south part of Fort Worth, which is Fort Worth. And you think of DFW, Dallas Fort Worth. Fort Worth is literally about 60 miles from north to south. It's bigger than the state of Rhode Island, I think. It's huge. And the closest one is like about a 40-mile, well, yeah, almost 40 miles, I think, I'd say, to get to Burleson. So it's a long drive. So anytime we go down on vacation to the south part of Texas, we are always stopping at HEB. So I live in Fort Worth, kind of near Keller. So that's where we mail everything from, Keller, Texas. So we're up in the far north part of Fort Worth. That's where we're located. So my uncle is in charge of all the South Texas Produce Department at HEB. Cool. I mean, there's so many. HEB has bought up a ton of properties around the area, I think to prevent other supermarkets from opening. And maybe, hopefully, someday they'll jump in here and say, you know what, we're gonna move into this one, this property we're gonna move into this one, because they'll put Kroger and all the other Albertsons, I guess is another one. I mean, they'll give them a run for their money. HEB is really, really good. Big Al Styles here. What's up, man? How's it going? Thanks for jumping in here. Great to see you. We were just talking about supermarkets because that's where like we started talking about like where you can buy essential oils if you wanted to make your own beard oil at home one day, just to go out and get a couple of products and stuff like that to like raw materials and make your own beard oils if you're interested in it. Billy says he went through DFW in '84, headed home from Oklahoma City. We went to World's Fair in New Orleans. I've never been to New Orleans. I always want to get there to try to go there and just have some fun, bring some beads, and just have some fun out there. I think that would be fun. Mom wanted to see where Dallas was filmed. All right. There's also that show, Walker, Texas Ranger, that was filmed in Dallas. But the funny thing a lot of people don't realize is there's a courthouse that's actually in downtown Fort Worth, but on the show, it's supposedly Dallas. And he's like walking down the stairs, Chuck Norris. And it's just, when my wife used to work in downtown Fort Worth, I drive past that all the time. So, yeah, it's in Fort Worth, though. So Michael says he's in North Carolina right now, but we'll be going back to San Antonio soon. Awesome. And Michael, your order should be there in North Carolina by, I believe, Friday. So I'm that went out today, so that should be there plenty of time for you. I was 12. Want to go back? Yeah, DFW, man. I really like the area. Definitely. Um, I mean, yeah, you don't have the coastline, you don't have the seasons, but and you don't have the snow, which is a positive thing. And I think the just the here's why I like Texas, guys. I like Texas because you get a sense of your own personal responsibility when you live in Texas that I never got when I was in Rhode Island. Um, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Rhode Island. I think it's a great state. It's beautiful. The food is amazing. But you get a sense of like your own personal responsibility. Now that I have kids, living in Texas, you're responsible for what you do, and your safety initially. If something were to happen, you're responsible for making sure you're holding down the fort till help arrives. And in Rhode Island, you didn't really get that sense because just dial 911, a cop's going to be there in 2 minutes. But here, when we first moved here, this was all unincorporated Tarrant County, so we didn't, we only had a sheriff's department responding to anything that might potentially need them to respond. And so it could take them 20 minutes, 30 minutes sometimes to get here if we needed them. So, in fact, when we first moved here, the house next door to us caught on fire. And because we were not part of the city, the responding agency was like a 25-mile or 25, yeah, it's like 25 miles away in Haslett, Texas. They were responsible for responding to this fire. And it was literally the house next door to us on Good Friday. And man, I tell you what, that's a learning experience. You realize, shit, we got to get prepared for things, that we're not in New England anymore. And that was back when we first moved here. But I mean, I love the fact that people are so neighborly here. Yeah, you do have some jerks, just like you have them everywhere else. But I mean, for the most part, people look out for each other around here, and business is great in Texas. Texas provides a really great mechanism for business. It's so much easier to run a business here than it is in Rhode Island. Like in Rhode Island, if I was running Ferocious in Rhode Island, even if I didn't make any money at all, I would still have to pay a certain amount of minimum tax in Rhode Island just for the privilege of having a business. In Texas, if you don't make any money, you don't have to pay taxes on your business. If you make money, well, yeah, you're collecting state taxes. You'll pay the taxes you make, but it's not like up there where there's a minimum tax due. So it's really very, very nice to have a business here. Nate, we should have a beard meetup in San Antonio when this all clears up. Absolutely. I'm down for that. I love San Antonio. It's like about a 4.5 hour ride, and it's great. So I'm up for that. Absolutely. Thanks, Nate. I appreciate you working with me. I'm going to be here an extra week and a half. So I might make a purchase or two before I'm back in Texas. All right, Michael, and if you make your order, I will send it priority. I'll make sure to send it priority, even if you don't pay the extra for priority. I'll get it to you, brother. I've driven through Texas when we moved from California to Kansas, and anytime I would see my family in California. Yeah, it's a long drive, depending on where you're going. We drove up to New Mexico last year, I should say, out to, and it was pretty long to get to Amarillo. Well, not Amarillo? Yeah, Amarillo. And then from there, we just drove further northwest, I guess, to Albuquerque. So, catch up on stuff. Used to live in Grand Prairie, went to Lincoln Tech for welding and diesel mechanics. Okay. Yeah, Grand Prairie is actually a lot closer than it sounds. Like Grand Prairie sounds like it's far from here, but it's really not. It's 25-minute drive to Grand Prairie from here. I was in Dallas once in the 80s. I was surprised at how flat it is. Yeah, it sure is. And I think I mentioned this on another broadcast. I remember when we were coming back from Hawaii after we got married there, I was looking out the window in the plane and I'm like, looking down at the Texas, I'm like, who the hell would ever want to live here? It's so flat. And then, that would have been in 2002. And then 5 years later, here we are. So you live 1 hour south of San Antonio on a ranch. Man, I tell you what, we have aspirations to buy, even if the house isn't as big as the house we're in now, we'd love to buy a house that has some land on it and those really kind of, well, they're basically huge work sheds that you can convert into like a Ferocious studio or something like that, where you could just only have that as the space to work, air condition it, and then that would be where we set up our workshop. I think that would be awesome. So Michael's turning 40 on July 5th. Max, how old are you? Almost 30. I feel like you're 55. My stepdad bought the family farmhouse in Kennedy in Karnes County. Okay, cool. Was glad to see armed Texans defending the Alamo this weekend. Yep, absolutely. And you know what? Speaking of that, I don't see, even though Texas now is a open carry state, you do need a license to open carry, but it's no longer conceal carry. I don't see many people actually open carrying. I see most people conceal carry, which if it were me, I would prefer conceal carry just because you're not necessarily an open target. But I mean, it's, that's just the first time I saw someone open carry after they passed the law allowing it, it was somebody on a motorcycle and they were in front of me at a red light. And I was like, holy crap, that guy's got a pistol on his belt, like behind his back. But it was legal because it's now open carry state. So, yeah, Logan, if you're ever in Texas, hit me up. For sure, man. Absolutely. Big Al. Night Marvel. Amazing. It's really good. You're going to love it. Night Marvel is really good. It's really nice. I loved it. The only time you ever been to the ocean was in Texas. Oh man, you got to get to like, if you're that close, I would say drive a few more hours to the east and go to Destin, Florida. Once you get into a little bit into Florida, the water just gets much clearer. Like if you go to Galveston in Texas and you put your feet in the water, I guarantee you within 20 minutes you're going to have oil on your toes. For sure, for real. Like you're going to have oil on your toes because there's so much oil out there that for whatever reason it's leaking or something. It's going to get in your toes. Yeah, we can't let our historical monuments get destroyed during this uprising. I agree. Absolutely. These things definitely need to be protected. You want to go to Texas, do some hunting? Billy, I used to have a friend in the academy when I went through the police academy, and he had some property down in it was between Austin and San Antonio, and he used to have wild boar on his property. So he had an AR-15 for the exclusive reason of hunting those wild boar on his property, because those things can be really vicious. Hard to keep up with 132,000 acres. There's part of this ranch I've never driven to, just flew over by chopper. I can only imagine. Now, let me ask you a serious question, Beardius. Could you just theoretically, what if like some developer said, like who built like tons of neighborhoods, said, hey man, we'll give you $10 million because we want to, build a big neighborhood and tax the shit out of everybody. Would you sell your acreage for something like that? In 2002, I just graduated high school. I can't believe in 2 more years I'll be out of school for 20 years. Brother, it flies, man. It flies. Yeah, I would love to just see that kind of property. I can't imagine how big that is. That's just huge. How much are out of state permits? Oh yeah, I'm not sure. Hey, Jeremy. Good evening to you, sir. We are doing well. Here in Missouri, we have constitutional carry. We don't need a concealed carry permit to conceal carry or open carry. All right. How to do South Padre Island. Yeah, I like South Padre Island, that area. So that's where you live then, right? Is the island, the actual island? Panama City Beach. Yeah, Panama City Beach is nice too. I remember uh, Eglin Air Force Base is out near there, and I had a buddy who was getting married in the air. He was in the Air Force, and I grew up with this kid, and like so, I needed to go to his wedding. So I flew out there, and when I was coming into the airport there, and I guess they shared the runway with an Air Force base because as we were coming in, all we passed were like hundreds and hundreds of F-15s on the flight line. It was really cool. Oh yeah, you were stationed in Panama City, Tyndall Air Force Base, Florida. You were right, Nate. Destin is amazing. Yeah, it's a great area, and the water is just awesome. South Padre Island is awesome. That's where I went. Okay, very nice. Tottenham, Tampa, Florida. We've had our eye on Tampa for some reason, just because there's several people that live there, and every time you kind of get into that mode where you're like, oh man, it'd be nice to live near the beach. That's one place that comes up periodically is Tampa, and I think I've talked to you about that, Joey, before about opportunities in Tampa. So that's definitely a place that even though I love Texas, if I were to move anywhere, a Florida would be in the contention for sure. Although I don't plan to move anywhere anytime soon, but that's definitely Florida's a place we've looked at. In fact, we even have on our car, because we would go on vacation in Florida, we have a toll um, thing in our window for Florida next to the Texas one. Boar horrible everywhere. Yeah, and Billy, there's a stretch of highway that runs, it's like a bypass. Instead of taking 35 south down to through Austin, uh, you can take this bypass that curves around and bypasses that whole Austin area all the way almost to San Antonio. And the speed limit's like 85 miles an hour. Literally, that's the speed limit, posted speed limit. Yet there are a lot of boar that go onto that highway, so you got to be careful driving that speed with those boar. Yeah, it used to be your spring break. I'm sure, man. I'm sure it was. That Tyndall's just trash now. The land's here to stay. The Border Patrol wanted to put towers on the corners, and the ranch we turned them down for the reason they only wanted to pay $1,300 a year. Hell with that. I don't blame you for that, man. That sounds like it's all benefit to the Border Patrol and not to you. Hurricane Michael came through without mercy, for sure. We have had 5 different hand dug wells dug by the Civil War troops. I've only been to 3, and the other 2 are deep in the brush. I was in Panama City Beach last summer, got sun poisoning from sitting on the balcony watching the ladies, dolphins, sharks, turtles, stingrays, and manatees. Yeah, it sounds like something I'd be up for. I remember we went to a place called Sebastian, Florida, and years ago, and I there was a little spot, like a little next to a bridge. You could just jump in like a little watering hole, where you could jump in and kind of cool off. And I was in there just kind of minding my own business, and all of a sudden, what appeared to be this 55-gallon oil drum came up and bumped against me. And as it turns out, it was a manta ray or manatee, and this the gentlest thing ever. I got out of the water then because I was like, I didn't want to disturb it, but it was really just cool. It was like that never happens. So it was nice. Gotta go to Austin to visit the Whiskey Tribe, YouTube creators distillery. Yeah, I'm down for that too. Austin is like a 3 hour, 3.5 hour. Um, Manta ray. Okay. Is a manta ray, is that like a stingray? Is that pretty much similar? Oh, Michael, what am I saying that is causing people to drink? I'm gonna figure out. I'm gonna have to review the video or something. Oh, unless it's me drinking. Which I don't have much of this left. This is just a grape drink. I'm one of those supermarket grape water drinks or something. Similar. Okay, very much larger. All right. So actually, hold on. I'm going to throw the fan on in here. Give me 1 second because it's getting a little steamed in here. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I thought I put the ceiling fan on, but I did not. And I was like, geez, it's getting warm in here. Yeah, I drank. I only have, I don't know what I was thinking. That's all I've got. Like, and I started with this much. I really didn't plan that too well. Hey, what about a scent tonight? We're going to come up with something? We have not even done that yet. I haven't even talked about it yet. So let me bring up my little screen here and see what we might want to do. So these, obviously, just like every week, this is the list of the fragrance oils and the essential oils that we've got. And, oh man, I still didn't update this one. I copied this. Let me put a big note in here. Update scents. Because, like, for example, the ones that we did, like the chocolate mint, I don't think it's even on here. No, it's, oh, it is on here. What am I talking about? Never mind. But every now and then we'll get some new fragrance oils or essential oils, and I did not put it on, you know, because I copied this from the website. The only way I can get the new one is instead of copying it from a previous page, I've got to copy it from the site. So what do we want to do for scents this week? Any ideas? Coconut, banana, and warm ginger. That sounds good. And I'm going to put your name too. That way, because people always wonder, like, including myself, who came up with this? And it's good to have that too. So, coconut, banana, and warm ginger. Cool. Let's see. Big Al says, hopefully this is not too much to ask, but do you want to put the Night Marvel on the site as well? I'll tell you what, if you want me to, I will certainly do that because I really like that scent. And in fact, I almost see like a collection, Big Al style collection of scents. And I'm happy to do that. And in that way, other people that might want to try it can. And further, I got to tell you this too. Somebody ordered the other scent that you put on there today. I noticed it came in today. I'm like, oh, wow, that's cool. So there's definitely people checking it out. So yeah, we can do that. Let me see. I'll put that in my written notes so I'll remember to do it. And if you get a second there, Al, if you can send me some kind of like either a profile or a blurb, something that I can put on the site about you. And that way people will know who created this. I think that might be kind of nice for people to kind of get an appreciation for who came up with those scents. So just send me an email if you get a chance, or a Sky or a Instagram, or however you want to reach out to me and let me know, and I'll be happy to do that. All right, so Michael says sandalwood, coconut, lime for an upcoming summer scent. We call it Destined Wind. I like that because we don't really have any summer scents lined up yet, like specifically for that purpose. So I think that would be cool. So I'll just write sandalwood. And we do have sandalwood, and that stuff's pricey, so we might as well use it while we have it. Destined Wind. Nice. Or Destined Breeze. Yeah, we'll see what looks looks better. Oh, incidentally, guys, I wanted to let you know something. I have changed the labels on the customs going forward. It used to be you'd get like that white label. Do I have any examples around here? It used to be when you get a custom scent, it would have the white label, custom beard oil, and it would have the fragrance listings and stuff like that. But I changed that, and here's why. I changed it so you get the regular black logo, kind of like this now on the custom scent. So it'll look like a regular label, except it'll have your custom name on it. And just because I thought the black labels look better than the white labels, they don't list the drops anymore because of the fact that it wouldn't fit on there. But I do document all the drops that I make on all the custom oils that you guys order. So if you ever need it again, I've got that in the orders. So that way, you know, if you need it again, I can make it exactly how you ordered it the first time, or how I made it the first time. Billy says pineapple pizza to aggravate Tyson and Johnny Grooms. What would we use for pizza? I like the spices. Like, I don't know if imagine like getting an oregano scent or something. Yeah, for sure. Do I have bergamot? Yes, sir, I do. I definitely have it. How did the raspberry, vanilla, and tobacco turn out? The raspberry, vanilla, and tobacco. Let me look at those notes from before. Oh, wait. Do I even have it up here? Yes. It's right here. I think it smells good. I think I rated this, though, a little lower because it smelled a little bit like... Well, I've got to check my notes, though. I got to see how I rate it. I mean, I like the smell of it, but... But the thing is, it's the raspberry. We've got it in Uchijoy and then also in Razzled. So that's what I think I was thinking about when I rated it. Let me see. Raspberry, vanilla, and Cuban tobacco. Let's see. I made it because I have it right on my notes here. Obviously, I made it because it's right here and I've got the drops too, but I don't show the rating I gave that one. And I don't know why. I don't know why I don't have a rating written down somewhere for this one. But it smells good. I'll have to check my notes after. I'm sure it's got to be in there. I think I showed everyone this notebook before. It's just full of like, it's like an artist note or something. It's hard to decipher sometimes. Oh, there's a new scent. Pear, amber, tobacco, and clove from Logan. So let's see. Let me write that down. Pear, amber. Amber is such a sweet smell. Tobacco and clove. And clove is strong. We've got that in Fetish. That's a good scent. Would driftwood work there as well? I think driftwood would work, but I don't have driftwood. That's the only problem. I've got sandalwood and I've got cedarwood, but I don't have driftwood. Definitely put it on the site, bro. You're the man. Thank you, brother. You the man. Thank you. I will certainly put it on the site. Cuban tobacco, fireplace embers, and cedar leather from Redneck Biking. I can already smell that. The Cuban tobacco is a sweet Cuban tobacco smell. Fireplace embers is really a nice warm scent. Cedar leather, we all know that smells like, that smells really good. Not too leathery. Kind of a warm leather smell. Oh, now we've got the essential oil blend here from Beardius. He's talking about adding orange, which is nice, bergamot, black pepper, which is also a nice scent. It's a nice warm scent. I like black pepper, and lavender. Lavender's a nice relaxing scent. So orange, let me think about how that would go. Orange, bergamot, black pepper, and then the lavender would add a nice balance to that. Yeah, I think that would work out nicely too. But so what we'll do is we got all these ideas. We're going to do a lottery system after, but just just to keep it to 2 cents. All right, for the summer scent, that sounds great. I'm just not sure how driftwood smells. Yeah, I'm not sure either how driftwood smells. And Big Al says, let's see, tobacco, bay rum, and Captain Crunchberry. Hey, that threw me for a loop. That would be kind of interesting. Let's see. Bay rum. So you get your cereal scent, and then you add bay rum to that, which would deepen it, and then the tobacco would make it a nice, almost warmer scent. That sounds definitely interesting. Yeah, Destin. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put a note to myself. Buy driftwood oil. I'll get some driftwood oil in the next time I place an order for fragrances or essential oils, and I'll add that. How much are essential oils normally? So that's a good question, Billy. And the answer is it depends. It really depends. Like, for example, the common ones like peppermint, orange, you can get pretty reasonably priced. Like when I say reasonably, I mean you can get like a bottle like this size for like maybe $8 to $12, maybe less if it's on sale. But when you talk about things like sandalwood, if you buy even a half ounce of sandalwood, it normally goes for about $55 to $65 for a half ounce bottle. So I don't usually buy, let me put it this way, when it's on sale, I'll buy 2 or 3 bottles of that. But I don't normally go out and just spend $50 or $60 on a half ounce bottle. I would prefer to buy a fragrance oil for that price because you're going to get a lot more. You can get a lot of the larger 16-ounce fragrance oils anywhere from $32 to $99. Like the amber for 16 ounces, like $99 for that. But it will last for quite a while. So, it is an expense, but you can stretch that over the course of many bottles of beard oil or balm or butters, and so it ends up working out. But it can be expensive, or it can be inexpensive, depending on how much you buy and where you buy it. So let's see. Teak wood is an awesome scent if you're ever ordering more fragrances. All right, let me put that in there too, because these types of things, I've heard of driftwood and teakwood oils, but I've never bought them, just because I've always used my own. But there's nothing to say, that we can't try different wood scents, because after all, I mean, otherwise what'll happen is all of our scents eventually will start to be similar. Even though you can make quite a variety of them, it would be nice to add some extra things like this driftwood and teakwood and so forth. So yes, you can add eucalyptus to that. That would be nice. I do have eucalyptus. That's a really nice scent. Eucalyptus. Sandalwood essential oil smells so much better than the fragrance oil, I think. Yeah, I agree. I think that the sandalwood essential oil, here's the thing too. They sell 2 versions of the essential oil. They sell, at least where I get mine, they sell the pure sandalwood essential oil, and that's the one that's like $65, $55 to $65 a bottle. Or they also sell, and they do the same thing with the vanilla. It's sandalwood essential oil mixed in jojoba oil. And it's basically, the reason they do that is because the jojoba carrier oil holds that scent, and kind of, it basically maximizes that. It takes whatever drops of sandalwood they put in there, and it basically allows for the scent of that to kind of also blend in with the jojoba oil. And so it smells similar, but it's not the same though. I mean, it's not the same as buying the pure essential oil. And again, with vanilla, the reason that I make my own vanilla in jojoba oil, and if you ever guys ever see black specks in your anything you get with vanilla, for me, don't be alarmed. But those are the vanilla bean because I hand scrape the vanilla into the jojoba oil and then I let it sit in the sun in a jar, like in the window, for about 4 to 6 months. And obviously, over time, that just kind of turns into a really nice blend of vanilla in jojoba oil. And so I'll spend about $40 on the vanilla beans and the jojoba oil, but I'd rather have that because I get like a good 8 ounces or 9 ounces of that instead of spending $25 for a half ounce pre-made at the store. Michael says, that's really cool, Nate. This whole thing you've created is so much more than a beer production. It's so fun. Definitely not fun anywhere else. Yeah, I think so too, Michael. And I'm in this for the fun of it. I mean, we're starting to get profitable, which is good now. But, we've been open since 2017. The first year we spent a lot more than we made. The second year, pretty much broke even. So we're starting to do a little better. We're definitely, the word of mouth is getting out, especially about the customs. So that's awesome. And it's just fun to make these things and it's fun to connect with you guys. So that's why I like doing this. And, I found my calling, right? Yeah, teak wood is really great. Was asking to do honeysuckle for the dirt road therapy scent we've been discussing because if it works out, I want you to do a product line on it. Billy, I'd be happy to do that, man. Let's see. Honeysuckle. That is, I'm not sure if that, I don't have honeysuckle, but honeysuckle, I'm not sure if that's an essential oil or a fragrance oil. I'm sure there may be an essential oil of that. I just haven't seen it yet, but usually where I go to get my essential oils, there's a bunch of them. But that one, I've never seen honeysuckle. But that's not to say we can't use a fragrance oil because sometimes fragrance oils last longer. Yeah, Beardy says, honeysuckle will make you park on the road just to smell it. The officer will come up to you. What are you doing? Just smell this, officer, and he'll be sitting there with you. I think the fragrance oil smells too much like baby powder. The fragrance oil of honeysuckle? Because or the fragrance oil of what? Because I'm not sure which one you're talking about. No idea. This is my scent. Been figuring out for 6 months. I want Barb to make it. I wonder how that would be in a soap. That would be interesting too. Because we could do that too. She loves making those soaps. Haha, I wouldn't even, Evan, you wouldn't even steal your idea, bro. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ideas I jotted down from what you guys had come up with. Let me just put numbers on them. Oops, just because we'll probably have to do a lottery system for this. All right, time to drink. You can be a tester. Oh yeah, cool. Drink, everybody drink, and I'm out of drink, so I will, depending on how long we go tonight, I'll either get a refill or I won't, but we'll see. But what do you say about doing a lottery system for these? Let me see here. Let me bring up that number generator. Because we're gonna, so we assigned number 1. Oh, just finish your Sonic drink. See, I do like those Sonic drinks. Their food I'm not crazy about, but their Sonic drinks I do like. So for this lottery system here, Bud Goggins said coconut, banana, and warm ginger. So that's number 1. Number 2, Michael Zarate said sandalwood, coconut, and lime. That's number 2. Number 3, Logan said pear, amber, tobacco, and clove. So that'll be number 3. Number 4 is Redneck Vikings, Cuban tobacco, fireplace embers, cedar leather. And number 5 is Beardius. He comes up with the all natural orange, bergamot, black pepper, and lavender. And then finally, number 6, Big Al comes up with a tobacco, bay rum, and Captain Crunchberry scent. So we're going to go ahead and put that into the system here, 1 through 6. And we're going to pick 2 cents out of that. That way, because that's a good number to make. It's manageable for me. I learned my lesson. All right, and so the cents that the first cent that came up is number 4. So that is Redneck Vikings, Cuban tobacco, fireplace embers, and cedar leather. So congratulations. We'll have to see how that comes out. It sounds great off the bat. Let's see what it actually smells like, and I'll let you know next week how it came out. And then the next scent that won is number 3, and that's Logan's scent, pear, amber, tobacco, and clove. So those are the 2 scents that I'm going to make this week: pear, amber, tobacco, and clove, and Cuban tobacco, fireplace embers, and cedar leather. And we're going to see how they came out. I'll let you guys know what I think. Meanwhile, between now and then, I'll also put the scents that we came up with last week on the website under the collaboration corner portion of the website, and I'll just put some kind of images up there to, I think, match it. And then so those will be up there for you guys to purchase or just look at and refer back to. So those will be there on the site. And I think, yeah, why don't we do a giveaway, because it's already 9:15. All right, and we've got 9 people in here, it looks like. So what I'll do is I'll do a number between 1 and 5. And just like for last week, I think what the prize will be is a create your own. I think that kind of goes along with what we're doing here. And so it'll be a create your own oil. So how I do these rewards basically is I give you Ferocious funds. And the reason I do that is so I make sure that it's much easier to put in the amount of Ferocious funds for you to get the beard oil than it is for me to get your name, your address, and then go back to the computer, put that in, create an order for you, because I'm not sure what you're going to want for your create your own. So it just is a lot easier. And what will happen is you'll get enough points to pay for the oil and the shipping of that oil. And then if you want a matching balm or butter, then you can get that. That'll be on you, though, for the balm or butter. But the oil is $30. So it's going to be like probably $35 will be the value of the Ferocious funds, which will pay for the oil and the shipping. So if you want to add the butter and the balm, you can certainly do that, and you'll get $35 off the total price of your purchase. So that's what the prize will be. So without further ado, let's pick a... Okay, let's wait for the ready, set, go. So I'll ignore the numbers before that. So here you guys go. All right, that was the ready, set, go. So you guys will probably start typing in numbers now. All right, let's see. Everyone stop. And we are going to start from this down. And I picked, or the system picked, number 3. So it looks like, according to my calculations, Beardius Maximus is the winner for this week. You win a create your own beard oil. You're going to get enough funds to add a beard oil of your choice, one that you can create yourself, and we'll pay for shipping too. So you are the winner. Congratulations! And if you're interested in the oil, the balm butter match, it's just a little bit more. You can pay for that, or I'll just send the oil. Either way, it's up to you. So congratulations. Damn it, Maximus. This is fun. I really enjoy doing this, guys. And, since we've done this show, I really have noticed a pretty big uptick in the custom oil. So you're definitely keeping me busy, because Barb will do some of the customs, but she likes doing the regular ones that we make. She gets a little uncomfortable doing the custom ones, but I love doing those custom ones. So I'm sure that I'll be busy. And these custom ones seriously are the amount of customs that I've been doing lately compared to, say, 2 months ago or 3 months ago is quite a bit more than I did before. So thank you, guys. What? My luck is back. Thanks, Nate. Rethinking the tester thing. So, Beardies, you said you've flown around your property in a helicopter. Like, how did that happen? Did you just hire a helicopter come out and pick you up and fly you around the property, or because I remember I used to fly a little tiny airplane, and that was expensive, but I always noticed that the helicopter prices are through the roof. You lit a candle. Right? Oh, I know another thing I was going to mention to you guys. So I made pomade. So pomade is out now on the site, and this is kind of a little bit dorky, but I think I'm going to tell you guys anyway. So these lids used to be just like this, and you'd get it and you'd open it up, and sometimes there'd be a white thing in here on top, sometimes there wasn't, because in these caps there's a seal up here. But I ordered, and they came in, these seals that you put on top of them, like right here. And then once you push this onto it, it presses that seal up against the top of this thing and locks it into place. So it's one of those that you peel off. So it just to kind of give you a little bit more, know inside that nobody's been tampering inside with that thing. So that is there. And the reason I got it is because I sent out a beard butter to somebody, and it must have melted and went like this in the heat. And so it ended up forming like a hole inside on the top part of it. So by the time he got it, it looked like it had settled, but when he put his thumb into it, it was like a big hole kind of went into it. So I was like, I got to get something, especially with summer coming. I got to get something to kind of keep that from happening. So I think that'll work. I can't fly helicopters. I don't know how to fly a helicopter. Nor, frankly, I don't know. Those things kind of scare me because they're inherently unstable. Whereas an airplane, if that engine quits, you can glide. But yeah, I used to fly a little 2-seater Piper Tomahawk back before kids. And that was just therapeutic. Okay, so you fly the land for deer survey and to see vegetation and to capture deer for transportation. Okay. Wow, that's pretty cool. I bet those deer must get the scare of their life being lifted off in a helicopter. I want to see some deer and boar pics and big rattlesnakes. Logan, let me check. I'll get with you offline about that. If I need your address. I gotta check. I want to make sure I have your most up-to-date address. So yeah, we'll definitely connect offline. But I don't think we're gonna do. Oh no, deer catcher. We had an ATV accident. I'm sorry to hear that, brother. Did I learn to fly from the Aero Club? No, I didn't. I always thought that would be kind of cool to do that, but so I learned to fly when I got out of the Air Force and I was working doing corporate security and I was working nights, and so during the daytime I was learning to fly at this small airport next to where I worked, and after I got my pilot's license, and I think I prepaid them, which they always say don't prepay them because if they go out of business, you'll never see your money. But luckily, they didn't go out of business, so I prepaid them. So I kind of committed to go. It was like $3,200 or something. I think I took a 401k loan to pay for it. And so I got my pilot's license, and I convinced Barb it would be so much more inexpensive to buy a plane rather than to keep renting planes for like $90 an hour. So I bought this plane in Colorado. It was like $17,000, and I mean it's a little two-seater, smaller than a Volkswagen, and um, I had someone fly it back to Rhode Island, and within 2 weeks, there's something called a trim wheel, and that thing, which is basically as you're flying, it kind of keeps you fine tuning, so you're not like, let's say you're flying and you're starting to climb a little bit, you can use that trim wheel to kind of level yourself off and fly straight without having to keep moving the yoke. Well, that wheel has some sort of like spring inside it, and it broke, and it was like $2,000 to fix. And I had just got done telling Barb how inexpensive it would be to fly a plane, to buy a plane. So that argument went out the window, and man, I didn't hear the end of that for years. But she loved flying though with me. It was just it was a little bit of a money pit, no doubt. But we had no kids back then, so they're money pits. Yeah, with land like you have, there may be a spot you can even make a runway, like a grass strip or something. That would be really kind of nice. And someday I'd love to get back into it, but I've been so out of it for that for years now. Things have changed, I'm sure. Technology's changed. You know, I had a GPS in there, but it was a portable GPS I'd plug into the like the little what I call a cigarette port. You know what I mean? I just plug it in there, and it was really useful. But I'm sure. I mean, that was 2005, 2004 technology, so I'm sure it's changed a lot. And I have some hard drive somewhere on one of my old computers that has like some videos of me flying. Like I've flown down the Hudson River past. This was after 9/11 too, so luckily um, they didn't win, and we were still allowed to have the freedom to fly down the Hudson River, which was just an awesome flight. You can't fly anywhere between. You have to stay within 500 feet and 900 feet in the air because below 500 feet you're too low. Above 900 feet, you're in the JFK Class B airspace, which is you don't want to be there because you got the big jets coming in. So between 500 and 900 feet, flying down the Hudson River, past the Statue of Liberty, it's just really great. And it's just, you know, you fly by West Point way down at the other end of the Hudson, and you just fly down the Hudson. Just amazing. Did I fly all by myself? Yes, frequently. I remember the first time my flight instructor first decided I was ready for my solo. He said, "Okay, land, and I'm gonna get out, and I've got a little portable radio, and you're gonna fly solo. You're gonna do 3 touch and goes. Oh no, not 3 touch and goes. 3 full stop landings and go back around and take off." So I was like, okay. So he got out of the plane, went out to the end of the runway, did my checks and all that stuff, and I took off. And man, after having my instructor in the plane the whole time, that plane just took off like a bat out of hell because it was just me, and that's like half the weight of the plane that's allowed. So between him and me, you know, two fat guys, because I was a lot heavier back then, when he jumped out of that plane and I took off by myself, it was like without his extra weight, that just thing. I mean, I get up to 1,500 feet in no time at all, and then I was like, oh crap, now I got to land this thing. But it was fun. You know, Michael, it's funny you say that because I think that I've done a lot of things. I've had a lot of experiences just because I like to try new things. But yeah, it's true. I've done a lot of like unique things that I kind of compartmentalize now. Like, okay, that was the time when I was in the Air Force. That was a cop in the Air Force. That was the time when I worked in security. That was the time when I got my pilot's license and I flew for a period of time. Here's the time I moved to Texas. Here's the time we bought a new house. This house was new when we bought it because was a lot cheaper than Rhode Island. Um, and it's like, so those types of things, yeah, definitely. I feel like I've done a lot, although there's still so much more I want to do. It's just money. Some things take money, and it's sporadic. You know what I mean? In life, sometimes you have enough to do everything you want to, and then other times you don't have enough to do whatever you want to. But as long as you keep pursuing your goals, or even if it's not exactly what you want to do, if you can do something similar to what you want to do, you might learn something new, and it doesn't have to cost anything, you know? So, like, someday I'd love to get a boat, but I'm 48 now, and the kids are still halfway till they are turned into adults. So, we'll see. Maybe someday. Maybe someday I'll get another plane. Who knows? I don't know. But meanwhile, here I am running a business, right? Like, I never ran a business up until, I mean, really, like a business that's successful up until Ferocious. So it's just one of those things that it's like another chapter in my life, and I'm really, it's fun to just, make the most out of what you have. Last week, a little plane landed on the highway, had to emergency land. The news says the air traffic control doesn't know where the plane departed or where it was going. There were a lot of airports that I flew in and out of that didn't have an air traffic controller. You just what I used to say, Tomahawk 2456 Delta departing runway 5. That was it. You'd make a self announcement and then you'd take off and then you'd fly whatever direction you wanted. And as you're coming in to the airport, you're just self announcing for other planes in the area. Tomahawk 2456 Delta. Downwind for runway 5, and then crosswind, downwind, and then wow, what was the term? See, it's been so long. Crosswind, downwind. I can't remember that third one, and then final, and then short final when you're like, about to land. Even just kind of funny, like even TF Green Airport, which is the major airport in Rhode Island, it's like the airport that if you're going to fly into Rhode Island, that's where you'd land. Their tower shuts down at 11 o'clock, so everything after 11 o'clock p.m., even like Southwest jets that would fly into there, they'd self-announce landing. They wouldn't use air traffic control because they weren't there. Hey, no problem, man. Happy to do that, brother. You are welcome. And good to see you in here. I hadn't seen you earlier, so I'm glad you're here. There you are. Evening, gents. Beer guy, are you staying safe because of the protests? All quite quiet here. And I think I saw something else. No. Hey, Paul, what's up, man? Thanks for stopping in. We're just kind of wrapping up. We've already chosen the scents we're going to make here. This week, Logan came up with pear, amber, tobacco, and clove. And Redneck Viking came up with Cuban tobacco, fireplace embers, and cedar leather. So I'm going to make those tonight. And those we'll review them early next Tuesday. And then we'll get on to the next scents. So... let's see, hope for 4 or 5 new guys Fridays enjoy their scents. Yes. Oh, no problem, Paul. I totally get that, man. Hope you've been well. We've just been kind of... the one thing about having a show every week, 2 shows really, is that it really makes your week go by fast. So the word on last week's scents. So the word on the street is... the Barbershop Cherry Tobacco and Chocolate Mint, A+. That was, here's my notes. Creamy, cologne style, rich, cream to menthe scent. High note of cherry, middle to low note of mint cream. Strong scent, very good. I gave that one an A. The other one, the the cherry lime tobacco, that's more of like the sonic scent. My thoughts were fruity, tart, initially strong, but fades to medium strength quickly. I really like the scent a lot. Barb smelled mostly Cuban tobacco, and I smelled cherry and lime primarily. I gave that one a B plus only because the scent drops pretty quickly. And then finally, the peach tobacco and bourbon. That was an A all the way. Bourbon and tobacco take the brightness from the peach and convert it to more of a peach infused bourbon scent with tobacco highlights. That was a good one. Hey, hey. I could add cotton to DRT, but not everywhere has cotton fields. I don't. What is DRT? Dirt? I don't know. I don't know what DRT is. Maybe I should. Yeah, Texas or Georgia peach. Right? That is the joke that's going to continue on because that's just there's a funny twist to that. Dirt. Oh, Billy, sorry about that. I should write that down. DRT. Dirt road therapy. I'm a little slow on the uptake sometimes. Cotton. Yeah, the smell of cotton. I do like that scent. We don't have it, but I like it. Let me add that to the list too. That would be a fragrant oil, but that's okay. So I'm going to add to my list of things to buy driftwood oil, teakwood oil, and then some cottonwood or cotton fragrance. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Can you create a scent like this spicy original Old Spice? Probably, but I'd have to really analyze it to see what it was like. Somebody asked me once if I could make a what was it? It was vanilla and patchouli because they saw like some kind of body butter that they sold at like Bath and Body Works that was like that. And it took a while, but I was able to finally get that scent to smell pretty much like that. But that took a while. Old Spice, I have no idea what all's in there. I mean, for fragrances, so it would be one of those things where I'd have to just kind of just I know I don't have certain fragrances for that, but yeah, I mean I probably could have just take a while to figure it out. Let's see. I don't care on peach, but don't put peach tobacco bourbon on the site. I'll text after that one is all mine. All right, Billy. That's fine. You got it, man. So down. Oh, you like Lance? You like the Old Spice scent, the original? What do I have? I use actually for deodorant. I use their Pure Sport. I was thinking about making my own deodorants, but the people that I've talked to that do make their own natural deodorants recommend that it's not really used like an antiperspirant. It's more of just a deodorant, and I like the antiperspirant part of those other ones, which is why I'm afraid that if I made my own, um, it wouldn't be as effective. So I've decided a long time ago to stick with what I'm good at, and the things I know I can't do yet, don't pursue that until I get it down. All right, cool. Yeah, definitely. Oh, you got the I've got it over here, Pure Sport. Yeah, I just like that scent for and it works well for me. So, um, I know it's not all natural and all that stuff, but it works well. So that's what I use. Well, we are at an hour and 35 minutes in. Let's see, we did a giveaway already, so thank you guys for that. We've got the scents, and I also have the names of the folks that um, are going, who made the scents this time around. Um, and I think that's pretty much all I've got going on. Don't forget the buy one, donate one. I mentioned early on in the show. We are working on another distributor to distribute the scents. Now, one thing, since I have your attention, guys, one other thing I'm just going to mention about that is the fact that originally my intention was, and it may still very well be, that when you buy one and we donate one, the donated one originally in my mind was going to be given to a specific veteran in need. Now, one of the companies that we're considering for distributing these, one of the things they do is they run a store, an online store, for the sole purpose of raising money for the veteran things that they do to support veterans. So one of the things that I think they may ask me to do is, would they mind if we had these donated beard oils in their online store so that when people bought them, it would raise money for their ability to continue supporting veterans, which is obviously different than handing it literally to a veteran in need. But I think that could be really just as effective, if not more effective, for helping veterans overall. So I'm not opposed to that idea, but I just want to let you know that obviously that's different than originally what I was thinking in my head. So I just wanted to kind of be transparent about that and let you know that that is one thing that they may ask about. And so these are some of the things I'm kind of thinking about in my head about how to help veterans. All right, so the scents tonight were pear, amber, tobacco, and clove. That's one of them. That's from Logan. And then the other scent we're making is from Redneck Viking, Cuban tobacco, fireplace embers, and cedar leather. So it's all good. It's going to be good. And let's see, we've got 7 folks here still. I don't know, anything else? Parting shots? Code 2020 still saves 20% at Ferocious, and that's for the entire year. And that includes the custom create your owns. And let's see, somebody is messaging me here, so let's see if it's anybody. All right. All right. So there is a link that was sent to me, all the scents for the original Old Spice cologne. That's good to know. How much and where do I send to get a sample? All right. I will get with you on that after. And no worries at all. I'll get with you on that. So that's pretty much all I have for this Tuesday night. And don't forget, Friday, we're doing the Friday Ferocious Free-For-All. So stop on by. We're going to have Andrew Carlisle on the show this week. And in fact, you can probably expect to see him more often. I think he and I really have a good rapport together. And the show seems to go well when he's on. So we're going to be doing that. And we're going to, let's see. Well, that's pretty much all I have, I guess. So, you bet. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all for real, and be safe. Take care of each other. We are all in this together, guys. So, and we're all Americans, and we're all one. All right, guys. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Comment coming in. Oh, what's this? No peach, no peach debating. Yeah, I'll get with you after because I think you just messaged me and I got some news to share with you about peach. So I will talk to you in a bit. Meanwhile, thanks guys for everything for real. I appreciate you. FerociousBeard.com. Great beards are ferocious.